pondered this question of why it has been slow to be adopted or put into practice. And I think there's a few different explanations that are probably all contributing to it. One of them is it's the way we teach people and bring them up. We don't teach people about systems and to think in systems in school. Not in K through 12, we don't really. We teach individual courses with very little discussion and or exercises around integrating those courses together into a system. And we continue that in business schools for sure. I mean, I'm not sure about the engineering programs, but I know the business schools, not only business schools are organized in silos. I mean, so much so that the marketing people or the finance people or accountants, they often will know their colleagues around the world in their discipline better than they know their colleagues in another department down the hall. It's just not a very integrated organization itself. And neither is the curriculum for most business schools. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there and there's some that are doing well at this, but most business schools, they train in the pieces and parts and the silos. They give specializations and degrees in the pieces and parts and silos. And most of them rely on one course called a strategy course to try to bring it all together. And by that point, it's usually too late in the curriculum. And then we send them to organizations and they create siloed functional organizations that they don't look at as systems. And we wonder why. Well, we trained them that way. That's so we get what we get what we deserve, I guess. So I think that's one issue. The other issue is just humans and the limitations of humans and the way we learn. And other people have pointed this out all the way back, I think, to Jay Forrester's work and Deming's work and Senge's work, point out the distance, when the distance between cause and effect is quite large and not immediate, we have difficulty making the connection intellectually between cause and effect. And so, when you're driving a car and you're turning the wheel left a little bit and the car makes a change, we learn pretty fast that turning the wheel makes the car move in that different direction. So the learning loop is very fast. In organization and other systems, it's not so fast. You have this delay built in between action and the result. Senge uses a few great examples like the aspirin. You take an aspirin, your headache doesn't go away immediately because there's a delay in the effect. Same way with hot water and the tap and adjusting it. Well, when you talk about organizations, you can magnify that issue 1,000 times, I think, because not only do you have a delay but the policy we create, the change in a process, whatever it is, and the actual results that we're getting are often months later, and they're out, and the result is in a different process or a different place in the flow than the cause is. And so because of that difference, I think it becomes very difficult for us to learn. So we need really good and explicit models about our organization, theories about how our organization works, in order just to have the conversation. And you add into that all the external and internal factors that are impacting those results. We now have not good experiments. They're not controlled experiments. And so we often can't explain the results completely by what we did 3 months prior. And so, but there is hope. I see a little ray of hope on the horizon, because the unfulfilled promise of big data and the digital processes and how we measure them might help us take a few steps forward in systems thinking. Because if we can come up with the right mental models and the right structures and a way to think about it, we can then guide the collection of the digital information that now would be much cheaper, free almost, and after you design it, to collect the data we need to actually analyze the system in a way that's more profound than we currently are doing it. Just not to start a new topic, but I think part of what gets involved in this is Deming's system of profound knowledge, where organizations are this combination of psychology and people, systems and variation and statistics and understanding what variation looks like, and that fourth component that he proposed, you have to have a theory of knowledge and to help you understand all that. Well, that's not easy stuff, and I think that's part of what's lagged behind. But I see hope that with these tools, a lot of times we just lacked the information to even have the conversation in any way that wasn't conceptual. So now with the data, we may be able to get grounded in data and facts and be able to really ferret out some of these ways these systems work that we haven't been able to do before. But we're going to have to create those models. Otherwise, big data is just a bunch of data.